So I'm doing properties of rational exponents and radicals. So first is the product of powers, where basically you just add the powers. So 1/2 plus 3/2 is 4/2, which is 2. So you get 5 to the second power, which equals 25. Next we have the power of a power. Basically you just multiply the powers, the exponents. So if you have 3, 5/2 to the second power, you do 5/2 times 2, which is 10/2, which reduces to 5. So you have 3 to the fifth, which is 243. Next we have the power of a product. Here you basically just separate the exponent. So like if you have 16 times 9 to the half power, you do 16 to the half, 9 to the half, and then you simplify those, so you get 4 times 3 equals 12. And then next we have the negative exponent. Basically, you just do the reciprocal. So if you have 36 to the negative half, you do 1/36 to the half, which reduces to 1/6, because 6 is the square root of 36. Next, we have the zero exponent. Anything to the 0 power equals 1. So 213 to the 0 power equals 1. Then we have the quotient of powers. So when you have an exponent over an exponent, you subtract it. So if you have 4 to the 5/2 over 4 to the 1/2, you subtract that. So you get 5 minus 1 equals 4, and then 4/2 is 2. So you have 4 to the second power, which reduces down to 16. Next, we have the power of a quotient. So here you have a over b to the n power. So you just do am over bm. So if you were to have 27 over 64 to the 1/3 power, then you would do 27 1/3 and then 64 1/3, which reduces to 3/4. So next is the product property, which is basically a times b to the nth equals a to the nth times b to the nth. So if you were to have 4 times 2 to the third root, you just separate it out into 4 to the third root times 2 to the third root, which just simplifies to 8 to the third, which equals 2. So next we have the quotient property, which is basically a over b to the nth root equals a to the nth over b to the nth. So if you were to have 162 to the fourth root over 2 to the fourth root, you would get 162 over 2 to the fourth root, which 162 divided by 2 equals 81, and then 81 to the fourth equals 3, so 3 would be the answer. And then also b can't equal 0. We have 130 cube root of 135. You just find the multiples, so you do 27 times 5 cube root. So the cube root of 27 is 3, the cube root of 5 is just cube root of 5, so it'd be 3 times cube root of 5. So then we have 10 to the fourth root plus 7 times 10 to the fourth root, and here just add the whole numbers, so it's 7 plus 1, so that equals 8 times 10 to the fourth root. So then we have 64y to the sixth power, all under the square root of the cubed root. So here you're just gonna turn the 64 into 4 to the third, because that can be factored out. And then the y to the sixth is going to turn into y2 to the third power, because that also factors out. So basically you're going to have 4 to the third root, or 4 to the third power under the third root times y squared to the third, all under the cubed root. And then that would, the 4/3 factors out, and it just goes to 4. And then the y squared to the third factors out because of the 3. So then the y squared would also go out. So you would be left with 4y squared as the answer. And that's it.